powerful remedy against the poison of most venomous serpents. Would have never guessed that.
Moved right to kava kava.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, dried tea. It's dried, brewed, and drink in small amounts of kava tea to increase psychic awareness. Sprinkle the dried herb across thresholds and windows for protection. Also carry the herb in your pocket to keep harm from coming your way.
That is a really cool little book.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so for anybody like popping on or re-listening once we're done recording, today we're kind of going to talk about herbalism again. I know I did that a little bit ago, but this will be a little bit more involved, and I'll actually show kind of some of the things I made using these methods, and talk about a new book actually that we got that I think goes along with this stuff nicely, and then I'll kind of repeat about the books I've already have talked about that I recommend a whole lot. So I do know I already had Corey already bought this Backyard Herbal Apothecary. I'm gonna just scream it from the rooftops again because this is my number one favorite herbalism book that I have so far. That's saying a lot because I have a lot, and I've read quite a bit of them that are at the store. This is very much more so like, and as you can see, it's well used. Okay, bookmarked, coffee rings on the back, like pages dog-eared. I'm definitely, Melissa would scream, but I'm definitely like a user of my books. Okay, I'll write in them. I will highlight in them. I don't care. They're for me to use, right? But anyway, this is probably my favorite book. So it doesn't just go through and describe magical purposes, right? This is actually talking about medicinal healing. So using herbs for healing. And I think that can be overlooked sometimes. So a lot of the time with people working with herbs, like they're talking about mojo bags, dream bags, things like that. But I do think we've kind of fallen away from using them for healing. I know that they talked about tea and coffee witchcraft last time during the live yesterday. So this is kind of piggybacking off of that because you can use these for similar purposes. But yeah, definitely recommend this book. It's Devin Young. So she apparently has a holistic lifestyle blog called Bog Witch called The Nitty Gritty Life. So I like that. I actually really like the concept of that. So it says too, so she has a degree in complementary and alternative medicine from the American College of Healthcare Sciences and developing her own herbalism health practice. So this is somebody that is actually, educated in this stuff. That can be kind of difficult too, because like, and here I'm not going to make fun of anybody because I just signed up for like a $39 herbalism class online. So there's no judgment from me. But I will say, like 2 hours of research is not enough for you to consider yourself an herbalist. It's not enough for you to be making medicinal things for other people that they need to ingest. So I'm going to start with that. Making the salves and oils for topical use, totally different ball game. Same with making oils using really common herbs like oregano, basil, like things like that most people don't have allergies to. But just be very cautious also with how they might interact with certain medications. Treat it like you would any medicine, right? Do your research. So that's my disclaimer that I'm going to begin with, and then I won't talk your ear off again about it for the rest of the time. But I have to say it. I do want to say too, before I forget, we did finally get these Rose of Jericho or the Jericho flowers back. We have had quite a few people asking about these. I will say this is not something I would use to make anything for herbalism. No. This is just like a side note for our green witches. But the Rose of Jericho is awesome because it comes like dried up like this. But then when you put it in water, it reanimates and turns green and refills with life. I am definitely going to be purchasing one of these before I leave. So I will record myself doing that so that we can share that with you. We don't want to use one of them just for the store because we want to make sure we have plenty left for anybody who wants them. So since I'm getting one anyway, I'll just kind of share what I do with it once I get home. But that's that Rose of Jericho. They're really cool. Just the concept of them, right? That they look
Mhm.
dead and withered and dried out. Like people would think it's done.
dead. Mhm.
It's dead. And then you stick it in some water and that's all it needed. So super cool just concept in general with those. Okay, so for the people who are getting into herbalism and making their own remedies and things like that, we did just get these amber bottles in. So this is a 10 milliliter bottle. Great for like essential oils because of that amber color, so they maintain their integrity, and making like herbal infusions, things like that. And then we also have a larger dropper bottle. This is a 4-ounce bottle, so it's a little bit larger, but really good for making any type of like herbal infusions, things like that. Even tinctures too. Obviously, those do contain alcohol, so use that again at your own discretion. You shouldn't be chugging it. It's a little drop. But then we also have these roller bottles here. So this is again a 10 milliliter roller bottle. And what's cool is you could take that cap off and put whatever you want in there. So kind of making your own oils for intention. So I do have one of these big boys at home with the same concoction in there, but this is my little roll-on for on the go. I will actually be selling these at the store, hopefully. I just ordered some labels and stuff, so hopefully I'll get these out on the floor. But this is an oil that I made for energetic protection. So I call it the suit of armor oil, because when you put it on, it's basically like putting on a suit of armor. Nothing can take from you and nothing can enter. So it's really protecting your energy. So far, I've heard good things about the people who've tried it, and I have not went a day without using it since I made it. So now that isn't to say that you couldn't make your own of these. So I'm not just bringing this up to sell my own thing. Like you can do what you feels right for you. Doesn't even just have to be for energetic protection. You could make ones for money, for love, a lot easier than most people think. So, but in this one specifically, the one for energetic protection, I put a juniper berry, black tourmaline chips, sage, hyssop, eucalyptus, frankincense, and myrrh resin. I'm missing something. Bay leaves. Probably something else in there that I'm forgetting, but very, very much like protective herbs and cleansing too. And then the scent is a nice grounding cedarwood, sandalwood, and jasmine. So grounding, but again, adds that level of protection and cleansing too. So when you use these, you don't have to slather it on necessarily. Just like with the other oils that we were talking about before, the Lunum Love ones, you could make your own infused with herbs and just put a little bit in your unscented lotion and use it that way. So you don't have to, slather your whole body in this coconut oil. Especially because not everybody's skin like absorbs it as easily as other people's either. So if you don't want it like sitting on top of the skin, you want to use it to moisturize, put it in your lotion. When I'm using a roll-on though, I typically focus on pulse points like that. Okay. Putting enough here. And then you're going to go on your pulse point on your neck, on that side. Then it's always a good idea to go behind the neck too, like that. A lot of cultures and people believe that Sierra is actually the one that sort of reminded me of this. Like I knew it and kind of forgot, which happens sometimes, right? You need people pop into your life to be like, you're forgetting something. But putting it on the back of your neck, that's where a lot of attachment happens. The back of the neck in a lot of cultures, a lot of different belief systems. Furthermore, though, if you think about it, when they say you lose energy from the top of your head and your feet, just like you lose heat there, that's why you wear like a cap and socks and stuff way back when you went to sleep. So same kind of concept. Same with like too, this is where you absorb energy, right, is your hand. So you're going to put it there to kind of keep that from happening. I think we've all been in a circumstance where we are around people that can be simply like exhausting to be around. You can literally feel the energy just leaching from your body, especially if you're a really spiritual person. you've got quite a bit of energy to spare, unfortunately, and people can be really attracted to that. So this suit of armor is oil is a great way to kind of make sure other people back off and don't take from you what you did not give them consent to take. And again, you can use this for so many other purposes and also medicinal purposes too. So oregano oil, literally cup of oregano, cup of oil, put it in a jar, wait 6 to 8 weeks, strain it out, stick it in one of these guys. And oregano is antifungal, antimicrobial. It is excellent for preventing infections, both ingested and topically. And furthermore, it's really great in breaking fevers. So if your kid has a fever, putting some on their temples, forehead, bottom of their feet, really good way to get that fever to go down. So I use that for Henry quite a bit. And again, like that's one that I don't feel so nervous necessarily suggesting to people because it's literally just oregano and olive oil. Like can't go too wrong with that. We forget that a lot of the time, way back when, they didn't just add herbs to food for flavoring purposes. You added herbs to food for the medicinal properties. Mm-hmm. So somebody who has gout or like me, fibromyalgia or arthritis, finding anti-inflammatory herbs that you can take, tinctures and oils that you can take. I know St. John's wort is an excellent herb to use as a salve. I haven't used it yet because you're supposed to use it fresh, and I have not been able to get my hands on it. I'm currently growing it, but I might have to wait some time for it to fully be a mature plant and like produce the flowers and stuff. But anyway, excellent for nerve pain. So there's so many different things you can do. A lot of people will use St. John's wort and mother's wort to treat anxiety and depression. Disclaimer with that, it does interact with SSRIs and certain heart medications, so be really cautious with that. Also can make your birth control not work. So ladies who are on the pill, don't ingest St. John's wort because you might have a little surprise. So I gotta warn you of that one too.
Good to know. Yes. Good to know.
Yeah, will make your birth control not work, just like how antibiotics will make your birth control not work. It's really important to know how certain things interact.
Very much. And like on a side note, it's just even like making sure you're not just throwing certain things into, because some things change properties. For example, what's the one that we have that the oil secretion is actually toxic?
Oh, I think, is that the wormwood?
Wormwood is hallucinogenic.
Yeah.
So people that will buy it and like they might not know that it is like it's what's made in absinthe, mm-hmm. which is what gives you that hallucinogenic type thing. And some people will put it in teas, and having too much can actually be very bad for you. Mm-hmm. A lot of things that make you feel good and hallucinate, like how alcohol is actually it's messed up as this sounds. It's poisoning you.
It's literally you're having food poisoning. Like psilocybin, yes. Let's be real. Why are you acting like that? You've got horrible food poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah, like it's messing. It's literally messing with your liver. Your liver cannot process the amount of toxins that is entering, which is why you feel the type of way you do. Yes. So there's certain things that you absolutely need to be concerned with, especially if you already have sort of liver issues.
Like, and that's not to say that it doesn't have its place and mm-hmm. that it can't be healing, but mm-hmm. it's just really important to know how certain things interact. Just being very, very cautious. Yeah. Even certain herbs like mixed together are not a good idea. Just know what you're doing. It's like, typically look what other people do too. Yeah. That's a really good way to base it off of, someone who is a very well trusted herbalist. Do what they do. Don't follow somebody on TikTok that made it for the first time. They haven't even tried it yet. They posted that video. So just being cautious.
Yes.
Also be cautious about where you're foraging stuff from, okay? Mm-hmm. Don't use a bouquet of roses that somebody got you to make rose water or to make infusions. It's got pesticides, it's got chemicals. Dyes. Mm-hmm. It's not what you want to use. You want to use it from an actual rose bush, like from your house, or purchasing it from a reputable herb company. Same with foraging mullein or something from the side of the road. Car fumes are a real thing. The pollution's a real thing. Probably going to have so much carbon monoxide in there. Just think about where it's coming from. If you're foraging from a public park, do they use pesticides? Would they spray weed killer? Like, you have to think about these things. So yeah, foraging from your own yard and from a garden, always going to be one of the things to do. The other thing too is only ever take a third of what you see. You want to make sure that the earth has that opportunity to replenish what it is you took. Don't ruin it for everybody else, okay? Don't kill a perennial plant because you didn't know how to harvest it correctly. That's the other thing I love about this book is it tells you how to harvest something, what parts are used for what, when to know when it's ready to harvest. It tells you all of that. So not all of the books do that. There are some herbs that, like I said, you have to harvest it at a certain time for it to be at its full benefit. So really paying attention to that, paying attention to what's in season, being at home with the cycles of the year. For us in Ohio, it's a lot different because we actually have like all 4 seasons. So somewhere like Florida, it's not so much of a seasonal thing. You just get what you get and you have it. You know what I mean? In Ohio, it's like, okay, crap, let me pick all of this chickweed and make all of these tinctures and oils and salves and all this stuff so that I have it for the rest of the year. That's why a lot of the time we do have to outsource herbs and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. People, there's gatekeepers everywhere.
I wish I remembered the girl on TikTok. She actually is from Ohio. If I can find her, I will send her to you specifically because I know that you would like her. But she actually forages and she'll make things and like eat things and make certain oils and stuff out of stuff found in Ohio. But her big thing is definitely not to take too much so that things can continue to grow. Yep. She's big on like harvesting like mushrooms and stuff. And if you take too much, it will not be able to spore again. So things like that definitely are very important. And her little catchphrase that she says every time is be safe, don't die, because there are definitely things that could kill you if you aren't.
Is it Queen Anne's lace, which is a wild carrot, or is it hemlock? Do you know how to tell the difference? Should you risk it? I will say a way to know just for the future. Please do not say like Emily told me I could pick this and eat it, because it's still up to your discretion. It's still your fault if you make a mistake. Okay, but the way to know is the queen has hairy legs. So Queen Anne's lace, which is a wild carrot, is going to have hairs, small hairs all down the stem. That's how you know it's Queen Anne's lace and not hemlock. What you would do is actually pull that out and cut the top off and eat the roots. I actually learned this as a kid, which is so funny that I didn't see how interested I would be in herbalism, considering I ate clovers just like out of the ground, like mock strawberries, always finding like wild carrots and eating them, always grabbing wild mint from my grandparents' yard and like making teas and stuff. And my whole family thought I was crazy, but look at me now. In an apocalypse, I would know how to survive. We actually had this conversation earlier where I said like, Brandon's in charge of like keeping me physically safe, right? And if I lose my glasses, like helping me know where to go, keeping me alive. And then I will forage the medicinal herbs and stuff. Issue is if I lose my glasses, might not know Queen Anne's lace or hemlock, right? So it'll be a little risky, but that's okay. I didn't even talk about the salves yet, but Sierra has something to add.
If anyone has like any questions as far as any of this goes, now is a really good time. Emily has been doing extensive research on this. Been doing extensive research. So if there's any sort of questions as far as like how to make certain things, et cetera, anything that she can answer legally, I'm sure she will be able to help you.
Yeah, because this is another thing too. We've been talking about putting a class together for something like this. Now, because it's so much, it might be like how to make salves or how to infuse oils, or kind of splitting it up into one specific topic, just because there's so much that goes behind this. I will show some of the little salves I made. These will be available for purchase as well as soon as I get the labels that I'm waiting for. But these are super, super easy to make, like really easy. Also adorable because I put little crystals in them. So apparently I've been exercising for 10 minutes. This is what I mean when I say my heart rate is ridiculous. Thinks I'm on a run. Anyway, So this one is a stress relief salve. That's what I'm going to call it here. Infused with rose, chamomile, and lemon balm, which, side note, makes an excellent tea for people who want to relax and who need to chill out. I'm one of those people, therefore, stress relief salve. This one is sandalwood and lavender scented, so extremely grounding, but it has a little bit of floral too. This one will be great for like helping you sleep if you get insomnia issues. Can be very uplifting if you deal with depression and things like that. Again, never a cure, but great alongside Western medicine, of course. And that one has a little amethyst crystal on the top. Then I have this one here. So this one is called the Hardworking Hands salve. So this one is infused with comfrey root and Oregon grape root. This one is awesome for people who work with their hands, mechanics, moms even too, like for if your hands are always kind of dry from cleaning products, even bartenders who wash a lot of dishes, stuff like that. Great for people who deal with contact dermatitis and things like that. So this one in general, this is probably my favorite one, I think, as far as usefulness alongside the smell, because this one is cedarwood and jasmine scented. So, oh wait, I'm sorry. I lied to you all. No, hold on. Now I'm like questioning the scents. Okay, I'm sorry. This one is lavender and cedarwood. Okay, this is jasmine and sandalwood. My bad. But again, this one's great for like skin irritations, things like that. Then lastly, we have the healing salve, the yarrow healing salve. So yarrow is actually, funnily enough, I've said this twice today, but Devin Young, so who wrote this book, said that if she had to pick a single herb, so you can only pick one herb for its medicinal properties that you have to cure anything and everything, she said she'd pick yarrow. I am very quick to agree with her because yarrow is antimicrobial, it is anti-inflammatory, just absolutely a great herb for trying to cure things like that. So I would definitely, again, use this at your own discretion, okay? But again, antimicrobial can help with like keeping infections from starting, things like that. Also just super soothing for the skin. So this is yarrow, and then it actually has a little bit of marshmallow root in it, or marshmallow leaf, excuse me, in it as well. So that is a really, really nice calming one. I'm going to make my sister one of these. It's great for like diaper rash, things like chafing, girlies in the summer, okay, things like that. Even like an armpit rash, like you know how dudes sometimes if they wear like Old Spice, it's like red and chemical burns, you know, things like that. This one has a clear quartz in it, and this one is unscented. So for people who have sensitivities to smell, who aren't good with essential oils, that one is always a good one. Same with like infants, or not saying you should use this on your infants, but with kids and stuff like menthol, eucalyptus, it can actually be very dangerous, according to my sister who's an NP. So I made sure to keep all of the scents out of there, just for anybody who uses it. Again, these are not meant to cure any ailments. As far as like what I'm telling you to use it for, we're gonna say hand salve, okay? But they were made with love, and they will again be available on the floor. They're gonna be 15 a piece. And then these oils I make, that one's a little tougher. I think I decided on 22. I'm gonna have to double check. I gotta make sure that you know I'm covering the products used to make them, but definitely gonna have those all available. It'll be under My Spirit Smoothie, so it's kind of like my little company name. But also, if you just have questions on how to make your own, I would be happy to help you with that. I think, what time are we at?
We are 2 minutes out.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'm just going to leave these last 2 minutes for anybody who has any questions while also showing off this really cute little herb grinder. If you use it for what you're thinking of when you first see this, it's not going to work as great as you think, okay? These are little teeny pegs, a lot of stuff. Sticky things will get stuck in here, okay? So this is an herb grinder for like Blue Lotus and stuff, okay? So these guys are so cute. They're only $12. That's excellent like if you want to do certain tea infusions, or if you're gonna put them in capsules. Like if it's a real stinky herb like valerian and you don't like to make tea out of it, but you have a hard time sleeping, you could always put the valerian in like the little capsules so that you don't have to taste and smell it. Because I mean, it is yucky. It's yucky. It works, but it's gross. So, for womanly problems, so hormone imbalances, things like that, raspberry leaf, damiana, ashwagandha. What was the other one? Raspberry leaf, ashwagandha, damiana, motherwort. These really help with, first of all, people going through menopause, hormonal imbalances, so like postpartum, right? Furthermore, people who just have a lower libido, people who are on antidepressants and their libido is just not there. Those herbs are really going to help you out with that and just help your body like feel good, right? So there's so many different herbs for so many different purposes. You deal with chronic pain, skullcap, passion flower, California poppy, valerian. Those are all ones that are anti-inflammatory that will help with that. Help you relax, help with nerve pain. So the possibilities are endless is basically what I'm saying. I think it's kind of a lost art, unfortunately. A lot of people don't know how to do this, or like they actually are more scared of like taking herbs and using tinctures, or using something in their backyard than they are taking something from a pharmacy, which is like insane to me. They work lovely together. Like I said, don't ever like stop taking a medication or something like that without consulting your doctor. That's not what I'm saying. Just saying like, when do we get so disconnected? So many of these herbs like plantain and stuff literally growing in your backyard. Speedball thyme probably in your backyard. So look and see what's out there and report back, I guess. But thank you for listening. If anybody does have interest in a class like that, definitely DM us, reach out to us via email. Let me know if you're in the store, because it's definitely something I'd be interested in teaching. Probably would use this book as a field guide. I know a lot of people love Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Herbs, but like I said, I prefer this guy. And we forgot to show one last book that we just got. That Sierra's been reading.
I've been reading this whole time. Sorry.
Almost forgot to show. It's funny. Super cool book.
Yeah, so I was just going through it as she was like naming stuff off. This is not only full of a bunch of herbs, but also a bunch of other facts as well. But it talks about, like, for example, here's huckleberry. It talks about the ruler, the type that it is, so it's a plant, and then the magical form, and then what you can do with it. So there's a bunch of really cool stuff with that. These ones just arrived. I believe we only have 2 right now, and it is $16.99.
Yeah, and then this is not available at the store. This is just something that, a cute little story, and I know we're like a little over on our half hour, but that's okay. Because this book was actually published in the 80s. There was an older woman who was going into a retirement home. Her children lived way far out of state, and so they were emptying her house out, and they were donating about 90% of this woman's stuff. And you could tell that it was very much like prized possessions. So we all helped them clear the house out, and in return, they said it was okay for us to take things that we would use and would continue on being used instead of it just being donated. So of course I yoinked. Called that Color Herbal, because it was so interesting to me that this older lady would have it. And then, like, some of the stuff it says, this is not a witchcraft book. This is a culinary / like herbal field guide, basically. And under bittersweet, it says, it is good to remove witchcraft, both in men and beast, and all sudden diseases whatsoever. So they literally have the planetary associations in here and the magical associations with the herbs, which I think is insanity for 1980. And that also is why I believe that book was meant for me to grab. So just wanted to share that. But yeah, any questions, even if it's after this live, like feel free to message. I love talking about this stuff. I love sharing any knowledge I might have. And I also love learning new things about it too. So even if it was something I said that was incorrect, or you have something to add, or just an idea that you want us to hear, we are all ears. But thank you so much for listening. 25% off of jewelry in store for Mother's Day and Sunday. So maybe I'll see ya. Bye, guys.